This is not a church. It was never a church. And if you give me 3 minutes, I'm going to absolutely turn your world upside down and blow your mind. You may have heard about a strange story going around that we were a part of an advanced civilization that fell apart due to some kind of invasion. And that incredible buildings like these, surrounded by all these smaller buildings, are actually part of two completely different worlds and times. If you're under the impression that structures like these can be built in our modern times, think again, because they can't, and they haven't been for hundreds of years. There are countless buildings like this scattered all over the world that we repurposed as banks, churches, universities, and state buildings. You'll also notice that a lot of these buildings have the word founded etched in the side instead of built. That's because we found them. We didn't make them. So let's talk about what these buildings were really used for before we repurposed them. It's becoming painfully obvious that our religions and our religious institutions do not serve us, and in fact, were built to control us. We're starting to realize that many of the stories we've been told about our religions have been twisted and corrupted to imprison our minds and our spirits. Well, it gets so much crazier and worse than that, because these buildings were never churches. They were healing centers and amplification centers for our meditation and prayers to make our thoughts reality, word to flesh. The painted glass windows and all the geometric shapes were meant to amplify those frequencies outward and inward to heal us and create a protective force field around the building and around the empire. Going back to this picture, you see that circle right there? That's cymatics. Let's go look up the video where they play sounds on sand and then the sand takes stuff and shakes. It looks exactly the same as that. This architecture is a frozen masterpiece of music, which cause frequencies to emanate within and without to have all sorts of amazing and powerful effects. Yes, all the old stories of Atlantis and Tartaria are absolutely true, and you can see the evidence of it just by going to one of these churches. But it gets even crazier than that. Look at the domes here. Look at those little circular balls. These are conductors, okay? We don't have a cross or the moon and the star here, and there's a good reason why. I'm just gonna put this ugly modern church in the background while we talk about this so this can really sink in for you. All of our religious symbols like crosses and moons and stars were actually just carefully crafted antennae. They were shaped that way to pull energy into the building. And now just think about how you have defined your entire life based on these symbols, defended them, fought other people over them, thought you were worshiping a god through that symbol. They are laughing in our face, and guess what you think is nothing more than just rocks are but the fractions of what remains of the massive forest that once swept this realm. There was far more oxygen back then, and these were the trees that helped produce it. We have been told so many lies from the moment we stepped foot in a classroom. From a very early age, it seems we were told what everything wasn't. And with that, it's quite easy to hide things in plain sight. It's hard to see the forest through the trees, they say. In this case, it's hard to see the massive forest through the little trees. We were never told to look anywhere else. But just open your eyes and imagine what was. It is no coincidence. Every ancient civilization, every religion, the world over, all talked about these world trees. Just look how Cairo, Egypt used to be depicted in maps. Pyramids built right on top of them. Most likely harnessing the energy right from those massive world trees. History is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon. Question everything, friends.